What's going on YouTube? It's Mike here. Today guys, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at Apple's next generation of iOS, iOS 7. Now, iOS 7 was something that Apple introduced and unleashed at WWDC 2013. As you can see from the past couple days, I've been uploading a crazy amount of videos about it, and not just iOS 7 in general, but everything announced at WWDC. However, one of the main highlights was iOS 7. Now, here I do have my iPhone 5 running the first beta of iOS 7, and I gotta say, it is pretty cool. It's completely different from everything that we've ever had, as you can just tell by the lock screen. It's just going to be awesome. So iOS 7, here it is, firsthand. This is a first look from Mike's iOS Help at it. As you can see, we have an all-new lock screen here, and I could actually slide down here. We'll start with that, with Notification Center, and you could do it right from the lock screen now. Stocks, calendar, date. I can see all my notifications. Right now I have none. I cleared them all out, and then I can see all my missed ones. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and slide up now. If I slide up here, you'll see that I get something very cool, and it looks like a ton of widgets. And this is called Control Center. It's something new in iOS 7. We got airplane mode, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Do Not Disturb, portrait orientation. We got our brightness toggle. We got music, all the settings there. AirDrop, which is something new in iOS 7. I'll get to that later. AirPlay, flashlight, alarms, calculator, camera, all quick access right from the lock screen, and you can do this from the home screen. So very, very cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and swipe down now. And if you go here right in the camera, you can see that there's a little camera button right there, and I could just swipe up, and I'm in the usual camera app. And so it is quite interesting and pretty cool. And you could already see that the photo camera app was completely redesigned, and I'll get into that in a little bit too. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and hit the home button, and as you can see, we are greeted with my little passcode thing. So the way you slide to unlock now, you don't go, I mean, you still slide this way, but it kind of takes you backwards, I guess you could say. And if you don't have a passcode, then you'll be able to get right to the home screen. However, I do, so I'm just going to go ahead and enter in my passcode. And as you can see, we're greeted with the beautiful new iOS 7 home screen. Now, the first thing you're going to be like is, wait a second, don't you have some sort of jailbreak theme enabled or something? And you're actually wrong. This is all of Apple's stock application icons right here. I know it looks very, very different, and I'll actually go ahead and dim the brightness here just a little bit so you could truly see the full colors of the new layout, and I think you should be able to now pretty well. So there it is, firsthand. There are all the stock applications. I usually leave things default view on my Apple products just so you know, because I like the way Apple lays everything out. But every app here on the home screen was completely redesigned, not only with their icons, but the insides of them too. So I mean, messages, calendar, photos, camera, weather, clock, maps, videos, notes, reminders, stocks, game center, newsstand, iTunes Store, App Store, Passbook, you name it. Everything was taken. It was just completely broken down and redone, and I actually even haven't gotten a chance yet to take a look at every single app. I've been playing around with some of the main features a lot too. And then if we swipe over a page, we got all my default apps. You'll notice that FaceTime is a new application that they're going to be putting on here, kind of like with the iPod Touch. It's going to be separate now. And then we have a little extras folder in here with contacts and calculator. You'll notice that voice memos and Compass is missing. Compass is actually moved to the home screen. And in Beta 1, voice memos is currently out of the Beta 1, but we've heard that it's going to be coming back in Beta 2. If you remember that Voice Memos was a very realistic looking app in terms of like a literal microphone, so since Apple's reverting to like the flat design now, maybe they just needed a little bit more time to fix it up. And this is the first beta of iOS 7. I'm going to admit I am getting a lot of bugs and lags and glitches and stuff, but that's going to happen, so I don't recommend this beta for everyone, especially if you're depending on your phone all the time. And I mean, I am too, but I like to test out new things anyways. So while we're on the home screen here, I think it's important to look at some of the new key features as well. One thing you're first going to notice is there's no more spotlight search when you swipe to the left. And originally I thought that Apple got rid of it, but if you go like this, you'll see there's our spotlight search. It just pops up from the top, completely sick. I always hated that when you swipe to the left, you have that spotlight search. Kind of annoying. It's like pointless, you know what I mean? But I think it's pretty cool that you got that. Another really cool thing is multitasking has completely changed, and as you can see here with apps, I could just swipe up on each of them and it works out perfect, and they just go away. And it's kind of like it's everything running in the background, and then I could just head back to my home screen, and it kind of zooms out and shows my background, and I just have it set to a default background right now, but you could change the background to anything you want. You don't have to worry about that. So And the last feature I wanted to add that is now the background is kind of like a 3D thing. I will zoom in really close here. And as you can see, as I move my phone, the background moves with it, kind of like a 3D feel. It's very cool. It's best to see with still backgrounds, however, it is possible with the moving ones too. And here's how it looks on the home screen. You could probably see it better as my icons move, and if I use the volume buttons too, you could see that the that ringer thing that pops up is moving too. So anything on the screen, you know, the background behind it kind of, you know, it moves with it, and it looks very cool depending on how you move your phone. And of course, you're going to be accessing the same notification center that we just had from the lock screen and the same exact control center, if I could get it to swipe up. It's all going to come in the same time, same place, whenever you need it. Any application, it's all there for you. Also, a little feature that a lot of people are noticing just because, well, I mean, you know, it's been the same for years, is at the top next to your carrier, mine in this case is AT&T, you're going to have little dots indicating your signal. You know, like right now I have 3 out of 5 in my area. But regularly it would be bars. Now it's just flat dots. It would be like bars going up. Now it's just flat dots across. I don't know. I didn't think this was like realistic at first, and I mean it is still the first beta, so they could change things. I've also heard a lot about a lot of these icons are going to change throughout the beta stages too, which you know, some of them I feel like are undone, like photos, calendar, game center, notes. I feel like those are unfinished. So you know, there's a lot of work probably to be put in them to make them look better as well. Now, obviously, I'm not going to have time in this video to literally go over every single app that's been redesigned, because quite honestly, every app has been redesigned, but I really want to go over some of them that have been changed dramatically. First one, of course, is going to be Messages. So they've completely redesigned the Messages app, and I'm actually not going to back out of this here because I got all my personal stuff in there. But you'll notice right off the bat, just the colors is crazy looking, and you could see like that everything's blank up here. I'm not going to put in the thing here, I don't want my friends' phone numbers to pop up, but I will show you. If you type here and you send it, if it's iMessage, it appears in the whole blue thing and like the text changes. It's so cool, and I think iMessage had one of the biggest overhaul design changes of all. It's the interface is just completely redone, and you should definitely check it out or look it up when you get a chance, because it is just sick when it's running. Here's what Calendars looks like, all brand new and redesigned. Something pretty cool too about Photos is now you're going to be able to go by years and places, and it's all gonna like put your photos together. As you can see, that's what it did here for me. As I said before, the camera app was completely redesigned. So if I go to video, you can see I could just swipe. There's no more little thing down here, and I could go to photo. I could go to Square if it wants me to fit something like for a service like Instagram, or I could even go Pano, and that's where I could take the panoramic pictures. And then I have my little camera roll here, flash. I could put my filters on here for editing, just like Instagram. That's also new. And then I could also flip the camera. You can't get filters for the front camera. I didn't know that. And then you could just simply take a picture, and look at this. It is so much faster now. Like literally by like milliseconds. It's crazy. And so everything is improved in the camera app too. I don't know, I kind of got to get used to this layout. I don't like how it's like just on the bottom there. I kind of like the flip switch a little bit more, but I guess they had to do that because, you know, they wanted to add Square and they wanted to add Pano too. But there's no more options. There's no more grid feature, if you noticed as well, or maybe there is. I didn't look. Yeah, there's no more grid feature. They got rid of that, and I guess that's why they put the Square in, to kind of scale it out for you. But they did, you know, they did keep the flash feature, of course. Weather changed a lot. Anaheim, I'm just using for an example as a city here. I don't really live in Anaheim, but as you can see, it looks very different. It's full screen. It's not just a little card now. And something cool, like, I mean, now it's like mostly sunny, but when it's raining, it's real rain. And it's not just showing rain, like it's actual rain coming down the screen and snow. And it's a lot like Android even. And quite honestly, like, you know, it's cool because then it looks a little bit more realistic. You get a better idea. You're not just seeing it's an animation thing. It's something different. Clock really hasn't changed extremely. However, you will see that here and there you'll see a couple changes. It's pretty much the same. You know, the way that it's been laid out, they just kind of made it look a little bit more modern. And one thing cool about World Clock here now is when you add different clocks, you can actually see how many hours they are behind or ahead of, you know, hours, minutes, whatever, most likely hours. You could actually see, so if I added London here, it would tell me that it was 6 hours ahead, which would be pretty cool because, you know, I mean, you want to have it there. You want to be able to see it right off the bat too. Maps I'm not going to get into. That's just about the same. Videos hasn't changed as much. As you can see, the whole way of taking notes has completely changed. This actually reminds me a lot of something like Evernote. I've been an Evernote user for quite some time now. However, after seeing this notes design overhaul, I could quite honestly see myself using it. It's just flat and there's no lines, and it's just simpler to use, I guess you could say. Here's what reminders looks like. It has changed up a little bit. We still got kind of the same feel. I don't know about this because, quite honestly, I have always loved reminders the way that it was set up. I like the old design a little bit better, and, you know, I am gonna dislike some at least. I can't just love all of them. But I got very used to the old feel reminders, so that'll take me some time. It is an app I use a lot. Stocks I don't even use that much to begin with. However, stocks has looked crappy all the time, and I don't really see that much of a change here. Obviously, you know, it looks a little bit different, but I haven't explored stocks enough to see any changes. Game Center is pretty straightforward and pretty crazy the way that Game Center now looks, feels, and works. Just look at that. I'm not going to get into all these tabs here, but just by seeing the front screen here, and they said at the keynote, you know, we ran out of green felt because that was the iOS 6 look, but this is awesome. This just the bubbles. I think it's a little bit too white though. I think Apple should add like some more color to the background, you know, give it a better feel. And also I think the icon for Game Center sucks. I mean, I know it is the sort of circles feel, but no, I just don't like it. Newsstand really isn't anything, but it does open in an app now, and you're gonna kind of see it like that, and it's just kind of layout. You know, it's not gonna be a folder. iTunes Store, App Store, they've changed, pretty straightforward. Passbook has changed a little bit. Compass has changed a lot. And then settings. Settings has a crazy look to it. You could see that everything is sort of just like, I guess you could say, simple. You know, it's a lot of black and white in this version of iOS 2. And I like the blue selections. You know, it's all the same color pretty much. For all of these, it doesn't change up. And, you know, even the animations and stuff like that, as you're switching to different settings and stuff like that is pretty cool too. One little thing I wanted to add in terms of one of the new features is the wallpapers that you're now going to get, and they actually have dynamic wallpapers, which are the moving wallpapers. So I'll just tap one here for an example, and you're going to see little circles pop up, and that actually does work live time too when they're your backgrounds as well. So this is something that Apple's never ever done. They've never allowed moving backgrounds, and what I really love about this, because I don't love these circles anyways, but what I like about this is this means that there's potential that you'll be able to add moving backgrounds in the future, you know, from online or ones that Apple adds. And so they'll be a little bit more lenient with that, if you know what I mean. However, with moving wallpapers, it does tend to drain your battery, not just with the iPhone, but quite honestly any phone, so I never really use them anyways. But if I find a nice one, I'll use it. Phone had a huge overhaul. I think if I go under any tab here, it'll give away too much personal information, but just looking at the dial pad, I mean, come on. Mail I can't get into right now. It's not really working out too well in iOS 7 Beta 1. I'm not able to check my mail because I signed out of my account. Safari got a huge design change, and even music looked crazy. And one thing about music that Apple's now added is something called iTunes Radio. This is built in. You could select your stations, and you could pick, like, based off your favorite music. It'll make stations for you. And I've been using this like crazy now, and it works. It picks all the best songs for me. And I've actually been thinking about canceling my Spotify subscription since it's a little pricey when I could be using this for free. And here's just an example of what the music app looks like. You can see here, complete redesign. One thing I don't like about this though is the new repeat feature. You know, when you had it in iOS 6 and any other iOS, you used to just be able to hit the little repeat button once and it would change it. Now you have to actually hit on the repeat and you have to choose the setting. I don't know if you guys use repeat a lot. I use it very often. So I don't know, it could become kind of a pain for me. Contacts and calculator were also very taken out of proportion in design. Just look at calculator. It says Windows Phone all over it. I think Apple went a little too far with this. And folders now, by the way, can be 2 pages, and also they open kind of in like a box shape form. If I open my stuff here, you can see here's everything I have, and then if I swipe over, it's on a second page. I just don't have a lot of apps in here. I've also noticed that apps that obviously haven't been updated for iOS 7 yet, you know, that makes sense, like, you know, Tweetbot, for example, or Instagram, even Facebook, they get a little bit glitchy and some of the parts don't work of it just because they haven't been updated yet. Hopefully soon they will, because it's not getting very good. You'll also notice that there's a brand new dock on the bottom, which is a very cool feature. And the thing I wanted to get to before about AirDrop, you are now going to be able to use people who have iOS 7, eventually when everyone gets it, you'll be able to take you could drop files with each other, kind of like you can from Mac to Mac with the AirDrop feature, and you don't have to be walking around the room with that bump thing anyways. It's a lot easier, faster, and it's easier and much more efficient than messages too. A lot of you are probably wondering about the status of Siri. Hello, Siri.
Good evening, Mike.
As you can see, Siri's got an entire new design, entire new look and feel. And it is supposed to be running a new HD voice, and you could either make it male or female. However, in the first beta of iOS 7, that isn't working out too well, and I am using the old voice, but still, Siri's got a whole new look to it. It's no more that grayscale background where it would kind of open in something else. It opens in the background, and it's transparent, so you could kind of see behind your home screen as well. You also have the ability to now block people. Now, I'm not going to get into that because then I'd have to get into one of my friend's contacts or family members, but what you could do is you could hit this block button, and you could block that person or whoever you want, as many as you want, from sending messages, making phone calls, or FaceTimes, or anything like that. And I have a feeling, and I stated this in my WWDC recap too, that a lot of people are going to be using this feature. It's been absent in iOS for so long. The only thing I want now is to be able to leave group chats. So Apple, if you could add that, I'd be pretty happy. And two more updates that I wanted to add is these are very small ones. You can now put the newsstand app, the most annoying newsstand app that would never be able to go into a folder, since it kind of opens into an application now, kind of comes at you. You can now put it into a folder. And then you can also, with applications now, the applications that you install from the App Store, they will update by themselves automatically. You no longer have to go into the App Store and hit update. It will automatically push them and do it for you. And that's pretty much it, guys. That is iOS 7. I'm assuming Apple's got a lot more to come with this. This is very good. However, I would like to see more. I think that the icons are very nice, but, I pointed them out. Things like calendar, photos, game center, reminders, notes. I just feel like these icons are unfinished, and also I want voice memos back too. I definitely need that. And I want Apple to work the kinks out, and sometimes in betas of iOS, they'll add new features here and there, which is a very exciting thing too, especially if it's features that were meant to be announced or weren't announced at WWDC, and they just kind of surprise us with a cool feature that'll be added to the release of iOS 7 this fall. So, by the way, guys, you can also get this beta version of iOS 7 now. There will be a link in the description. I have a tutorial out that will tell you exactly how to get iOS 7, and that'll be without registering your UDID. It's completely free. Now, there are some downsides to it, but you'll see that in the video. So click the link in the description if you are interested. Guys, that's it. If you like this video, please leave some comments below on your thoughts. Of course, give this video a thumbs up, and click the subscribe button below. If you guys are interested in my iOS stuff, please follow me on Twitter at Mike's iOS Help for updates on everything iOS and Apple. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.